Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the title of this video, I finally decided to sit down again and film a part 2 of my Loyola question and answer video. That video did actually pretty good on my channel, and ever since then I've been getting so much more DMs just asking me some more questions about Loyola. And yeah, I thought I would make a second video answering some more questions. I'm gonna be looking at my phone. I have them all typed out in my notes, so if I'm looking down at my phone a lot, that's why. And yeah, let's just get right into the video. And if you guys want to help me grow my channel, of course feel free to subscribe, and let's get right in with the questions. I don't know if I answered this in my previous video, but I've still been getting this question a lot in my DMs, so I'm just gonna answer it again here if I did already. So the first question is, how was the application process? So their priority deadline is December 1st, and then to submit your application you can either use Loyola's free online application or the Common App, which is what I did if you're submitting your application to like several colleges. And then they do require an essay, but you can choose whatever topic you want to write it on, and I feel like that is a very important part of the application because you can really write whatever you want about yourself and really get the person reading your application to know a lot more about you. So definitely take advantage of that, and you will be able to submit that like all the way at the end of your application. So in all, the application process is literally like just the same for every university, like letters of recommendation, transcript, all of that. The next question I get going hand in hand with the first question is tips on getting in and how to better your chances of getting in. I get asked this a lot, and one of the biggest things that I got told a lot before applying to Loyola was to always apply early admission and to try to apply as early as possible. So I don't really know how much that like really impacts everything, but that's what I did, and I just feel like once again it shows them that that's like your top school, that's like where you want to go, that you really care, so you're applying super early. Maybe they will get to your application first, I don't really know, but basically just doing anything you can to make your application stand out a little bit. But honestly, Loyola isn't like a very highly competitive school and stuff. I feel like they mostly accept A/B students. Obviously they like to see students that were involved in high school, maybe did like 1 or 2 clubs and stuff like that, or like community volunteering hours, just stuff like that. I feel like will definitely help you with getting into Loyola. Oh, I also get asked this question a lot, and is it a very religious or strict school? So it's more kind of like everyone's views and beliefs are accepted, and if you choose to involve yourself like on the more religious side of the university and like involve yourself in those activities and stuff like that, you obviously can. I feel like there's a lot of like opportunities for that, but if you're personally not very religious, that's not gonna like affect you or anything like that. Just from my personal experience, I'm not very religious, and I didn't feel like the school was like overly religious or anything like that. They're very like strong on just having their students be themselves. Like they don't push any of their like beliefs onto you or anything like that. I just feel like it was very just like chill and a very like good environment. Are the classrooms big or small? So I don't know if I answered this in my last video, but classroom sizes vary a lot. Overall, the classes that I had were on the smaller side. I had one class in an auditorium, so that was like a very large class, and I really liked that. My teacher was really good. It was a history class, and it was honestly a really fun class. But then after the auditorium class, we had little like breakout classes that everybody was placed into, which also happened like a few times a week, and those were like really smaller classes with only like 10 kids, where we would go over and discuss like what happened in the main session, if that makes sense. But yeah, overall all my other classes were on the smaller side, and honestly I feel like that was very helpful for me because I like when teachers are more like involved with their students and they know all their students by name and can answer to like all your emails and answer all your questions. I don't know, I just like a more smaller class setting where like everyone kind of knows each other and the teacher is more involved with you, and you can actually like form a relationship with your teacher. I feel like that really helps me a lot with just like getting my work done, asking for help and things like that. What are the class requirements what are the class requirements for the first year? Okay, so I don't know if I remember this correctly. I know that the one class that we all like had to take, every single freshman has to take, is a univ class. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like just a discussion class where they talk about Loyola and you do activities with all the students in that class, and every single freshman has to take that class. And I think it's just a class to like familiarize yourself with campus and the university, and they answer all your questions. For my univ class, we had to do like a scavenger hunt around the city, and you had to pair up with somebody from your class, and you basically had like a list of things that you had to take pictures with in the city with your partner, and it was really fun. And then afterwards you put it all into a PowerPoint and you share it with your teacher, and yeah, that was just like a little activity, bonding activity we had to do with that class. And I thought it was really fun and helpful, because especially for students that came from out of state, I feel like that was an activity that would really help them familiarize themselves with the city and stuff like that. So yeah, I know that's like a requirement for all of the freshmen. And I forgot what else I had to take. I mean, obviously it all depends on your major and stuff like that, because I took a lot of my major requirements my freshman year as well, but I will like show you guys. I'll probably insert it into the video or something like that. But once you get accepted, you can log into Locus, which is like the main website that is used for Loyola, for you to view like your tuition, your grades, like your academic requirements. And basically you go and you click on the academic requirements, and based on your major and your minor, you can just scroll down and see like everything that you have to take. And it also talks about like your core requirements, and it will like say if you're like a freshman, they will, and like just incoming, they will all be unfulfilled. But even if you're like a second year, like it'll say like what you already took, what is fulfilled, what is not, what you have to take. So yeah, once you get accepted, I would say go on Locus, look at your academic requirements. You will also get a counselor assigned to you, and they will help you with all of that. And my counselor gave me like a paper, and I went in for my appointment, and we just like built my first year schedule together. And then after that, I would just log into Locus, look at my academic requirements, and just like choose all my classes by myself. How long do you have to stay in a dorm for? It's actually a 2-year requirement that you have to live on campus, but I think they're like the strictest for first year, because I just feel like they want everybody to really get involved with like the campus and stuff like that. For my second year, I actually waived that because I live pretty close to campus, and during the year last year I actually ended up driving sometimes from home, and I found no problem with it. So I did cancel my dorm and stuff like that, and just said that I'd be traveling to Loyola from home, and I filled out this application and they reviewed it and accepted me. But yeah, technically you have to dorm at Loyola for 2 years, but people like cancel that all the time. And from what I know, they basically accept everyone. Personally, living at Loyola for like dorming for 1 year was enough for me. I wouldn't dorm again, just because I like living from home. I like having my own space, and I know that like most people at Loyola for their second year get an apartment and they get roommates, and that's really fun. I feel like for your first year, dorming is a pretty good experience, and it really helps you make friends. And I wanted to dorm my first year just because I wanted that original like college experience, but 1 year was enough for me. How many people can you bring into your dorm? I'm gonna call my friend Cindy and make sure that what I'm saying is correct.
It depends on the size of your room, I think. So I think if you live in a single, the most people that can be in your room is 4. And then a double, I'm pretty sure it's like 6.
Really?
I'm pretty sure there's a limit to how many people you can bring. But
okay, so I had to make sure, double check that really quickly, so everything I'm saying isn't just like coming out of nowhere. But yeah, I'm like forgetting some of the requirements for everything. But yeah, if you're trying to bring in a non-Loyola student into your dorm, you have to register them if it's like their first time ever going into your dorm. So yeah, you can just like register them at the front desk of your dorm, and then they just leave their ID at the front desk, and then when they leave, they ask for their ID and just like say their name, and they will give their ID back. And after they're registered, they can just leave their ID and like they'll be in the system and stuff like that. And then just like a Loyola student, they again just leave their ID at the desk and then take it once they leave. And then to sleep over, you don't have to approve a Loyola student sleeping over at your dorm or anything like that. But if it's a non-Loyola student visiting you for the first time ever, you have to register them, and you have to do like a 24-hour notice. And you also have to fill out, like, your roommate has to like sign a little sheet saying that they're fine with the person like sleeping over in your dorm. And then I also got asked, how many times can like you have a guest visit you and like sleep over in your dorm? And regardless of the host, I'm reading this to make sure off the website, but it was like 3 consecutive nights. So regardless of host, a guest may not stay overnight more than 3 consecutive nights in 1 month period. Can you have pets in your dorm? So I know you can have fish, but you can have pets in your dorm, like hamsters. And like somebody else answered this on my last video in the comments and stuff, but you can if you register them as an emotional support animal. Some people do bring their cats, their dogs, their hamsters. My roommate from last year, her and her boyfriend didn't bring a pet into like our dorm, but they registered their dog for like his room as an emotional support animal. And I asked her like how was the process, and she said it was a pretty complicated process, but let me read what she told me you need. She said that you have to sign up for like the SAC, like the Student Accessibility Center, and then you need a letter from your doctor stating that you need like an emotional support animal, and then that application gets reviewed, and then they tell you like if you're approved or not for that. And yeah, but I've seen a lot of people in my classes bring their dogs to class with them, and it's always just so cute, and they're always so well behaved, and they just like lay there, and it's adorable. So yeah, you can have animals in your dorm and on campus if you register them as an emotional support animal. So this question is asking me like how are the online classes at Loyola, and yeah, I'm just gonna share a little bit about my online experience at Loyola to close off this video. It has been fine. All my teachers have been pretty good. So some teachers do like optional Zoom meetings, so we don't really have Zoom meetings for that class. They'll post the lectures online and like all the PowerPoints and just like everything you have to do. Personally, I like that more because I just like to get everything done in my free time. But some teachers do require like you to join all the Zoom meetings, and they'll take attendance and everything like that. I've had a mixture of both. I like the optional Zoom meetings more. But yeah, honestly, all my teachers have been pretty good, pretty helpful. They reply to emails fast, and I feel like the workload hasn't been as much, and I feel like my classes have honestly been a little bit easier, but that's just like from my own personal experience just being online. And I feel like teachers have obviously, with like everything going on, have been a lot more understanding, and like understand that some people have problems with their internet connection. Like sometimes your test will shut off on you, you'll lose connection. Like I feel like teachers have been really understanding with like everything going on and like all the difficulties that students face. So yeah, my online experience has been all right. I mean, my first ever online experience, so can't really compare too much else. Like I said in my last video, the biggest tip that I can say for choosing your teachers is look at Rate My Professor and stuff like that. I mean, obviously I've had some teachers that like weren't rated very good, and I actually found them as pretty good teachers. So obviously it's all up to like your own opinion, but I feel like Rate My Professor, you can really find out a lot about a teacher, like how much homework they give, tests, exams, workloads. So before choosing a teacher, I would say go on Rate My Professor, and that helps a lot. I also got asked, how do you choose your classes each semester? And this, personally, I actually like hate the process of choosing my classes each semester because I just think it's really hectic. But basically everybody gets assigned like an open date for when they're able to enroll in like their classes for the semester, and you can like look at your academic requirements and then start choosing classes and putting them in your shopping carts. But the problem with that is classes get filled up really quickly. So if you have a later enrollment date, sometimes like a bunch of classes you have in your shopping cart will get filled. So kind of like very hard and hectic, and just depends on like how lucky you get with your enrollment appointment. The sad part is that sometimes it will get filled up and you'll have to quickly find another replacement for that class. And sometimes that's hard to do because you've already like built up your schedule around like certain times and stuff like that. So yeah, it's honestly pretty hectic. But yeah, that was it for my Loyola question and answer video. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and of course feel free to comment down below asking me some more questions, sharing your own experience at Loyola if you're already a student there, and of course feel free to DM me if you have like some more like personal questions about your specific major and stuff like that. If you found this video helpful and you guys want to help me grow my channel, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.